Invite viewers to post their location and local time. In the Crystal Bay Hotel ballroom, the string lights scatter gold across the marble, the kind of glow that makes even a chipped glass look like treasure. Waiters weave between tables stacked with champagne flutes, the air fizzing with polite laughter and whispered alliances. Near the far wall, a baby grand piano sits like the odd cousin at a royal wedding, still invited, but not the main attraction. Sabrina Lockage, draped in emerald silk that could probably pay a semester of law school, leans on its lid, manicured fingers drumming out a rhythm that's all about her. She thrives on spectacle the way cats thrive on knocking things off shelves. You know, she announces to the cluster of donors and the reporters, if anyone here can play this piano flawlessly, I'll marry them tomorrow. It's delivered with the breezy cruelty of someone tossing bread to pigeons just to watch the scramble. The crowd erupts in that, "We know you're kidding," laughter, and somewhere in the back, a guy in a tux snorts into his champagne. Historians still argue whether she meant it as pure theater or just boredom wearing a gown. At the edge of the room, Khalil Brantley pauses mid-pour, pitcher of water halfway to a crystal goblet. 27, hotel janitor for 8 months. The kind of man people see daily, but couldn't pick out of a police lineup if offered a prize. He sets the pitcher down, walks toward the piano. Ando, yes, asks if she means it. A few guests choke on their amuse-bouches. Sabrina smirks, all teeth and green silk. By all means, she says, like she's inviting a toddler to drive the family car. He sits, the navy of his work shirt a stark bruise against the polished black wood. First notes slow, careful, almost like he's asking the piano if it still remembers him. And then something happens. His fingers start telling secrets the crowd didn't know they were ready to hear. Conversations stop mid-sentence. A waiter freezes mid-step, balancing a tray of shrimp skewers like a Greek statue. Somewhere near the buffet, a guest mutters, "Bet he plays chopsticks," but the mutter dies when Khalil's left hand drops into a bass line that could melt iron. The room shifts. Even the skeptics lean in. The music swells, part gospel warmth, part classical storm man for a moment. The entire ballroom forgets it's there to sip overpriced bubbly for charity. The janitor just stole the night, and no one saw it coming, except maybe the piano. By the time the last note fades, there's no polite golf tournament clapping. This is full-on cheering, the kind you feel in your ribs. Sabrina's emerald-draped poise slips for half a heartbeat before she pastes it back on. She'd lit this match for fun, but Khalil just burned down the whole gala. A guest in a silver wrap leans in, asking where he learned. "Old upright my mom bought for $50 from a church," he says. Keys were chipped, 2 didn't work. You could hear the mental gears grinding across the room. A tuxedoed donor tries to diminish it, so no formal training, but Khalil only shrugs. Figuring it out is the training. Somewhere, a philosophy professor just got goosebumps. Overnight, the clip rockets across the internet. On TikTok, a creator pauses mid-video to point out the exact second the rich people realize they underestimated him. Twitter trends his name alongside international headlines. Hashtags multiply like rabbits. Some posts call him a prodigy. Others use the moment to roast the crowd's earlier smirks. Khalil scrolls through it all on his battered laptop above a laundromat, more bemused than excited. He never chased fame. Music was a private room in his life, not a public stage. Historians still argue whether viral moments choose the person or the person chooses the moment. But either way, Khalil's phone now buzzes like a beehive in a tin can. Sabrina's publicist calls, urging a public reunion photo ops, maybe a follow-up duet. He's not a prop, Sabrina says flatly, earning a rare pause from the PR machine. Khalil's equally cautious. Fame, he figures, is like mayonnaise, good in small doses, ruins everything if you dump the jar. Then, in the hotel lobby, a young mother with a toddler stops him. She says his playing was the first thing in months to bring peace into their home after her husband's passing. That lands heavier than all the likes combined. That night, he calls Sabrina. If the offer's still on the table, he says, "I'll take the stage." And just like that, a janitor's quiet talent starts marching toward the bright lights. 2 weeks later, The Uptown Theater in Dallas hums with anticipation. Backstage, Khalil paces lightly, palms warm, the gleaming Steinway on stage visible through the curtain. Feels different than the gala, he murmurs. Because this time they came for you, Sabrina answers, straightening the cuff of her blazer. His name is announced, and the applause that greets him is already warmer than the polite clapping of that marble ballroom. He begins with an original peace gospel warmth braided with classical precision, the kind of melody that swells like the tide and leaves salt in your chest. The room falls into that heavy, listening silence where even the air seems to hold still. Between pieces, he talks to them. Most people will only ever know you from what they can see in a few seconds. That's not the whole story. It never is. A quirky tidbit slips in. He once practiced so long on a Saturday, the community center janitor bribed him with leftover birthday cake to leave. Historians still argue whether he took the cake because he was done or because he was hungry. For 40 minutes, he plays switching between intricate arpeggios and tender, aching pauses before closing with the same piece from the gala. The standing ovation this time is instant, like the crowd's been waiting all night to jump to their feet. In a lobby afterward, strangers share their own stories. Dusty guitars in attics, half-finished canvases in closets, the dreams they shelved for later. Khalil listens, realizing his music isn't just sound, it's a mirror people see themselves in. Outside under the cool night sky, Sabrina catches up. You could make this a career. He smiles, glancing back at the glowing theater doors. Maybe, but even if I don't, I've learned something. What you carry matters. Even if no one sees it right away, even if they laugh first. She nods. Then I guess the rest is up to you. Always has been, he says. Wind down. The street is quiet now, save for the low murmur of departing guests and the whisper of a breeze carrying faint echoes of the night's music. Khalil walks toward the waiting car, but his pace is unhurried, as though each step is still synced to some private rhythm. The air is cooler here than it was inside, wrapping him in something gentle after the heat of the stage lights. He doesn't know if this evening marks the start of a long journey or simply a story to be told years from now over coffee. Yet the uncertainty feels less like a burden and more like an open field. In the distance, the city hums softly, unaware that in one theater, unseen talents just found their voice. Somewhere, in countless homes, the memory of those notes will linger in a toddler's face gone suddenly still, in an old woman's smile as she dusts off her long silent violin, in the quiet resolve of anyone who's been holding on to a dream for too long. If you've been carrying something you love, music, words, colors on a canvas that wait for the perfect invitation. Let it out into the air, where it can breathe, where it might find the one person who needs it most. And as you drift into your own quiet tonight, let the thoughts settle over you like a calm blanket. The moment will come, and when it does, you'll be ready.